Want to know how to learn Chinese fast if you're an intermediate student here in China? I'll tell you how in a moment. Hi, my name's Kuizhou. I've lived in China for 10 years and I speak good Chinese. So, you're a college student and you want to know how to speed up your studies. You're already intermediate, which means HSK 3 or 4. Here's how you can get more language quickly. Number 1. Perfect your pronunciation, then get outside and make sure you're good at all the kinds of sentences and clarification questions that you need to survive in your day-to-day situations. You know, at the market, in the taxi, on the bus. Get good at those. You're already intermediate students, so you can learn just by having conversations with the Chinese people that are around you. Clarify. Ask, what is the difference between a fengli and a boluo? Aren't they both a pineapple? Number 2. If you haven't already, get on sports teams and get dialoguing and interacting with your Chinese classmates. It's just fun, but you have to work not on what you know how to say, but how you phrase it. But you already know that because you watched my last video on how to learn Chinese fast for beginners. So here's number 3, a little more advanced. Hop into a Wechat group. Those same friends that you made from a sports team or elsewhere, just jump into a Wechat group with them. Why? Because you need to now see how Chinese people communicate to each other in the written language. What better way than in a Wechat group with friends? It's priceless. You don't know how different the way Chinese people actually communicate is from the way we have to learn in class. Number 4, start watching TV shows. It might be hard, do it anyway. Start with variety shows because you want to learn the language that the hosts use to banter back and forth with each other, because you can use that when you're waiting in the line at the grocery store. Also, even better, the variety shows that have a bunch of expats like you and me, but they're super good at Chinese. You know, like 非正式会谈.
大家好，欢迎各位收看由湖北卫视购物推出的非正式会谈
or 世界青年说. I interviewed an Egyptian named Muhammad. Look for it, I'll put up a screenshot. His Chinese was super good and he had only been in China for like 5 months at the time. But his secret was, back in Cairo, he was watching those kind of TV shows to level up his Chinese, and of course, the language that he didn't understand in those shows, he was asking his tutor. Number 5. Don't slack on those Chinese characters. Now, you don't need to practice all day long writing every character in your text 50 times. Would it hurt? But what I mean is you at least need to recognize probably the most frequently occurring 300 characters? 500 if you really want to do well. Hey, but wait a second, you're a student anyway, already at HSK 4. So you probably already know a lot of characters. Make sure you can recognize them and say them, at least the ones you see in day-to-day life. Then, because you're already in Wechat, you'll be able to communicate most of the things you wish and understand most of the things you see with your Chinese friends. Characters, love them or hate them, you gotta learn them, at least to recognize them. Number 6, get books that you're interested in Chinese. For example, I like economics, so I got this one on economics, and it's pretty cool. And guess what? I didn't understand all the words, obviously, so I asked my Chinese colleagues and my Chinese tutor what things mean. Look how pretty it is. Also, I like business. I read this really cool book called Heart, Smarts, Guts, and Luck. When I read this, I read it from cover to cover, but in Chinese, I only read maybe half of each chapter, and it took a bit, but because I already liked this kind of language and this topic, I learned so much. And Chinese people are still impressive. How can you say those things? Well, it's because I read the book and they stick in my mind because I'm already interested in the topic. By the way, I'll put a link to this book and the other book in the descriptions. You can check out what people say and all that good stuff. Before I tell you number 7, head over to my website, elementarychinese.com, and get the free guide, 8 Effective Ways to Learn Chinese. You're already pretty good, but I just include practical tips to help you get that extra edge. So number 7, focus on the language that you understand what they're saying, but you would not have said it like that. Write that language down, get with your tutor, or talk to strangers, clarify and make sure that's the way they say it and what the context is, and then repeat and parrot that language as much as you can. Because again, being fluent is saying things how Chinese say them. when they need to say them to get the results you want. That's it for now. I'm Quajo at elementarychinese.com. Good study. Day up.